On today's show, the story behind the hats. Artist Jeff Trodahl's projects create quite a niche following.
Like butter.
We set out on a hunt for the smallest of game. Kaya Brosh chases insects. And a new twist on an old fish fry recipe.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi everybody, Bill and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
You know, not too long ago, my oldest son noticed a peculiar looking hat hanging in the fly shop. It looked a lot like this one.
Turns out it's made by a local artist who turned his day job into something much more profound.
You got a filter for this?
Jeff Trodahl would never paint any sort of picture that he's much of a fishing pro.
I got one!
That just isn't his style.
For real? Oh, it is real. It is real.
But
Yeah. Need help with that?
Jeff's love of these little critters led to a change in life's brushstroke. To understand is to tour Jeff's basement.
These are all concert posters and album covers that I did over the years.
Jeff always loved illustration and art. After graduating with a degree, he made a career creating art for some of the biggest bands in the rock biz.
This poster, the very first poster when the Grateful Dead came back.
But even in his rock and roll lifestyle, an old song called Jeff home.
My life has been in the woods and camping and fishing, and at some point in life thought I needed to be in the rock and roll business. The picture of life got a little bit bigger and clearer. I realized that's not what it was all about.
Jeff eventually started fishing trout streams out west with some of his closest friends. In moving water, Jeff found inspiration.
But these have all kind of grown out of different hats that I've been doing for bands. Something like this will sit around long enough to turn into something like this.
Painting fish hooked Jeff.
Does it look like a fish? It's fun. It's all we're worried about. Some of them I'm directly aiming for the species of the fish. Other ones I like to take the artistic freedom of creating my own fish. All right, almost done.
This artistic outlet led quickly to near rock star status.
I never thought anybody else was going to be that interested in it. Knock on wood, they go real quick and people really seem to attach to them.
Scott Sorensen considers himself a Trodahl groupie.
Yeah, really fun guy and creative.
Scott owns the fly fishing shop up in Grand Marais. He sells Jeff's custom hats when he's lucky enough to get his hands on a few.
They're quirky and fun and creative, and you know, I guess it's similar to the art of fly tying in that it's a way to get you through the long, cold winter.
For Jeff, painting wildlife runs deeper than that. Much deeper. See, Jeff and his wife now own his parents' old house. When they moved in, Jeff discovered treasure in the shadow of a dark closet.
I found this painting my father did. Like, this little painting is more valuable to me than anything I've ever done.
Turns out Jeff's dad, a lifelong corporate man, had a creative side, just like his own son.
I don't know how or what, but somehow it overly inspired me to start this, I guess you could call it owl campaign or owl direction. These owls, I can't stop.
I see his dad in his work and his personality and his laughter. There's a lot of Tom Trodahl in Jeff.
Suppose that's why Jeff keeps Dad's picture in the studio.
That's a Honeywell photo, I think, from the 70s, somewhere in there.
His dad was a pretty big, not just influence, but a big supporter of everything that Jeff has done.
Jeff's funky, outside-the-box art. A colorful diversion from his professional world of the music business. And in some way, it's his most important work, too.
And that owl was kind of the first window to just start back into doing things I wanted to do, instead of working for everybody else all the time.
So, if you ever see Jeff on the dock, don't be too tough on him. He can't always pull a big fish out of the hat.
He belongs on a hat. I haven't done a perch hat yet.
But he sure knows how to put one on it.
You're getting a perch hat.
Guaranteed. Coming up next, one Minnesotan hunts bugs.
Cheers.
To the dinner plate.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers. By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. Running Aces Casino, Hotel and Racetrack. And by Aluma Craft Boats.
Bugs all over me. Ugh, kind of gives me the creepy crawlies. Now imagine eating them. I think I'll leave that assignment up to Travis Frank.
Avid hunters know that early risers find the most success.
They can be a little bit tough to catch, which is why I like to come out early in the morning. They're a little bit slower.
Kaya Brosh hunts at sunrise to beat the summer heat and to catch her game off guard.
And sometimes they're a little bit quicker than you expect, so you got to be kind of quick on them.
Kaya, what are we specifically looking for this morning?
So this morning we are looking for different types of grasshoppers that are going to be in the grasses.
Yep, you heard it right.
And they're really great for eating.
Grasshoppers.
Oh. Got one. This guy has really cool markings on him. So he's got these stripes on the side.
I can't imagine there's a lot of meat on that little guy.
No, that's why you need a lot of them. I would call myself an insect forager. The scientific technical route, it's entomophagy, so that means eating insects.
Oh, dang it.
I would call it a hunt for sure, because you're searching for something that is, you know, an animal, and you harvest it essentially for you to eat. Here we go. Got some grass with that one. Little snack size one. Perfect.
Kaya lives by the old motto.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Because she too had her doubts.
When the idea was first brought up to me that like, oh, you can eat insects, I was like, why would I put that in my mouth? Like butter. Once I tried it, then my perspective started to change. No pressure, don't miss. Nice.
Got one.
Her fascination with insects began in college.
I took an entomology class, which is the study of insects.
The professor offered her class edible insects.
Oh, hey!
You might say Kaya took the biggest bite.
I try to replace meat in my diet with insects. I'm aiming for 2 to 3 times a week.
That means she harvests them by the hundreds.
There he is. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, you're gonna love this. Yeah. So these are, I think this is my favorite insect right here. So this is a dragonfly that's called a common green darner. They are so amazing.
And you say he's off limits, right?
Well, if you want to try it, I will sacrifice one.
I will respect your choice, and I guess you're free, buddy.
Like, they're too cute and cuddly. To me, they're just too beautiful to eat.
Like this dragonfly, not all insects make it on her menu. Butterflies get a pass. Spiders, not a chance. And grubs.
That one is a meaty one. Look at that.
She says, taste too bitter.
I always say red, orange, or yellow, leave that fellow. Green or brown, swallow it down. We're going into the boiling water.
Swallow them down. We will.
They actually will turn red, just like crab turns red when it's boiled. You can saute them, you can grill them. I mean, there's just no end to the possibilities. Moment of truth for our chili and lime crusted grasshoppers.
Ooh. There it is.
All right.
After you. I have to admit, I'm part nervous, part excited.
All right, let's do this. Cheers.
Cheers. Crunchy. Yet satisfying.
In the words of Kaya Brosh, don't knock it till you try it.
Just put that little hockey puck.
Still ahead, we get wild in the kitchen with walleye fillets. And later, a Minnesota-bound classic all about America's key conservationist. Can you name them?
Closed captioning is brought to you by Maple Grove Lock and Safe, your premier Liberty safe dealer.
Today we're getting wild in the kitchen with one of Minnesota's favorite fish, the walleye.
Walleye.
And we're making walleye cakes?
We are.
Oh boy, my dad's gonna be jealous about this one.
So if you like crab cakes, you're gonna love walleye cakes.
Delicious. And I see we have some walleye here.
We do. We simply just cook this off. A little salt and pepper, 350-degree oven until it's cooked through. Chill it down, and then we flake it apart.
Well, that's easy.
That's easy.
Okay. What are the next steps?
We're gonna just kind of start with the flaked walleye in this bowl,
Okay.
and then we're gonna add a bunch of other ingredients. So I've got a little garlic chili paste we're gonna add to this. It's gonna give it a little spice, a little heat, but not too much.
Spin around.
We need a little egg in there, whole egg scrambled up to kind of bind it together.
All right.
We got some spices. We got some Old Bay. We got some kosher salt. We got some dry mustard, and then we've got some fresh herbs. We've got some scallions, some tarragon, some parsley, and a little dill. And then to brighten it up, we've got some fresh lemon juice. And then last but not least,
A little bit of mayo.
a little bit of mayo in there. I forgot one ingredient. You can't make walleye cakes without saltine crackers.
No.
So I've got one sleeve of crackers, and we're just
Okay,
gonna
look at how easy that is.
crunch those up.
This is where you use your arm power, your muscle.
Exactly. We don't need any fancy equipment
No.
here. There you have it. Now
Okay.
just mix that up. Get
Here
in
we
there.
go.
All right, Laura, now that we got our walleye mixture all ready to go, we got to portion it out.
Okay.
So I want you to grab about a golf ball size portion for me. And you're going to take that golf ball and you're going to make it into a little hockey puck portion.
Okay.
for me.
These are sports terms I understand. This
Wonderful.
is
And now we've got some Japanese breadcrumb, that panko. Just put that little hockey puck right in the center, toss it around, coat it. So you'd go through there and do all the walleye cake
Okay.
like that. So they've sat in the fridge for an hour now. They should be set up. I think we're ready for the frying
good. All
pan.
right, they're nice and chilled. They're ready to go.
So we're going to start with a little clarified butter. I want that nice and hot so you hear that sizzle when it hits the pan. About 2 minutes each side. You want that nice golden brown.
Okay.
And then we're going to throw it in the oven to kind of warm through. All right, so after we flipped them, we're going to put them in a 400-degree oven for about 5 minutes. It's been about 5 minutes and ready to come out.
Look at that.
There you go.
Thank you, Jim, for showing us another wildly delicious recipe, and of course using one of the Midwestern favorites, walleye.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut, Adams Pest Control, Rave Sports, Bent Creek Golf Course, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Conservation is a state of harmony between men and the land. Aldo Leopod long ago said that.
Many people consider Leopod the father of modern-day wildlife ecology.
Ron Shera introduces you to Aldo.
The smell of a wildflower. The breeze in the trees. The world, as Aldo Leopod knew it, at a place he called the Shack.
A lot of people envision this farm as being this peaceful, quiet place where Leopod would come up and have quiet time to write. Really not true. The family would come up here and they did some back-breaking labor.
This is the story of Aldo Leopod, a man who loved wild places, a man who taught us how to preserve them. Once a year, people gather in Wisconsin to pay homage to Aldo's beliefs, the man known as the father of wildlife management.
Let's head on in and take a look.
Way back in 1949, Aldo wrote about life in the Wisconsin woods, life around his family's revamped chicken coop. Aldo's book, The Sand County Almanac, became a sort of Bible for conservationists. It's a book of beliefs about how the natural world works and how we should better protect wild things.
I think it's just such a powerful thing when you're so close to that book and the places and things described in it have such an impact on how you think about conservation. To be able to come here and walk on the ground, it really is like walking on hallowed ground. Right there, I think that might just be the sand flats. I feel just so lucky to be able to be the person guiding folks through. It's a very emotional experience. A lot of people really feel like it's kind of a pilgrimage, you know, to come here.
Another goal of the weekend?
A lot of them would like to know more of the stuff that you guys know.
People learn to teach conservation to people back home.
3/4 of the people that attend these workshops are sponsored by their local members of Pheasants Forever.
What was the first car that Aldo bought for the family, and tell us about that?
Well, I was just telling Richard that we had a Model T Ford.
Aldo's daughter, Nina Leopod Bradley, always attends.
I think the Leopod Education Project that Ed and all of you are doing is almost the most important thing that can happen in our society. I think we have an ecologically illiterate society.
Illiterate because Aldo believed, even back in the 30s and 40s, that prairies were disappearing and development endangered wild places. These are lessons we should all learn.
Getting involved in our community, looking at habitat in a different way, like Leopod did, reading the landscape around us.
And protecting it.
So what you paying? 9. So we need 9. That's 2, 5.
That's a 3 up, 3 down.
Got it.
And we need 15 and 9. We'll be in good shape.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Even Dutch ovens play a role on this weekend.
Apple brown Betty.
This is yams, or sweet potatoes, depending on where you're from.
And the reason we include Dutch oven cooking is because Leopod used Dutch oven.
Blow off steam with a little light work. That's outdoor cooking.
Southwest cornbread. We refer to it as organized chaos. You have to boil first.
And get them soft.
Yes, and soft. It's teaching 60+ people how to cook dinner in Dutch ovens.
Good food, good lessons learned. One more reason. We love the woods.
It's just a pleasure to meet people from all over the U.S. that come here to gather because we all share a common interest, and that's developing land ethic for the future.
A land ethic scribed by Aldo on the pages of one man's almanac.
We let the dead veterans season for a year in the sun.
We came upon a great slab of bark freshly torn from the trunk of the roadside oak.
Such faith, I suppose, is the kind that moves mountains.
Words to live by. Thanks for the advice, Aldo.
Aldo Leopod's Sand County Almanac, even now one of the greatest conservation reads of all time.
Sure is. Well, that about does it for us this week.
Be sure to check out our Facebook page and offer up your story ideas. Until next week,
Introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.